Hello, my name is Jennifer Setzke and I teach American Studies Prep. I have the honor of teaching your son or daughter this year. American Studies is a class that it fulfills the requirements of U.S. history and American literature for the junior year. It is a team talk class, so I teach with an English partner. I'll talk about that in a moment. So what I thought I'd do today is tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about the class, show you how your son or daughter accesses the class via Canvas, and let you know that I'm available via email for any questions that you may have. So when your son or daughter logs on to Canvas, they will get a screen like this, and I will allow them in and then share my screen. So what I'll do today is show you a slideshow. This is very typical of what a class would be like, where I'll start with a slideshow, talk about the class, and then get into the content, sometimes via slideshow as well. So a little bit about myself. I've been at LT for 20 years. It was a midlife career change for me, but one that I've never regretted. Really the best choice I've ever made. I have really enjoyed these past 20 years. I have a bachelor's from Loyola University, a master's from St. Xavier. I've lived in the area for 31 years, and I have 3 grown daughters who are all LT graduates. So we are a proud LT family ourselves. I have one adorable grandson that your children will be subjected to seeing probably more than a couple pictures of over the course of the year. I mentioned that this is a team talk class. I actually teach with 2 English partners this year. For periods 1 and 2, I teach with Gretchen Coulot. For periods 5 and 6, I teach with Jessica Rustler. And they will introduce themselves in their own videos and explain the English side of things. So what does your child see when they begin class? Here's a sample of what he or she will see when they log into Canvas. This was the first slide for a couple of days ago. They are currently working on a research project on a particular immigrant group. So I let them know what the goal is for the day, that's in the green, and then the activities that they will be working on. I also try to give them a schedule when possible so that they know how the class will be broken up. For example, on this particular day, we reviewed the resources that they can use. They had time to work individually on their research. A 10-minute break, 75 minutes is a long time period, so we do provide breaks. And then I met with them individually in breakout rooms. I put them in individual rooms, and then I popped in so that I could talk with them. Much easier to speak with children one-on-one to find out what they need, what their questions are. For our units of study in here, we do cover the same information that you would find in a standalone history class. We just do it thematically rather than chronologically. So we started out with immigration, and we revisit the idea of immigrants and the development of cities and how people acclimated to America all throughout the year. So that's why we start with this. Our second unit is on the beginning of the country and the writing of the Constitution. Third unit is the challenges to our democracy, such as slavery, the Civil War. Then we move into how the country expanded and the frontier, and transcendentalism on the English side. The fifth unit is about the development of cities and industry. And there again, we bring in immigrants and working conditions and how businesses flourished at the turn of the century. Beginning of the second semester is our study of the 1920s and modernism. Then we move into the 1930s, the Great Depression. The Civil Rights Unit follows that, and then we end with war and conflict. So we talk about all of the wars the United States has been involved in the last unit. How to check grades. I'm sure you are familiar with Infinite Campus by now. You will notice that there are 2 types of grades. One is a formative grade, which will have a little asterisk on the top. That means, yes, it is graded, but it's considered practice, so it will not count toward the final grade. Summative grades are entered for projects, quizzes, assessments that will count toward the final grade. And these are the grades that can be revised according to the requirements defined on the syllabus. Here's what is different about grading in American Studies. Because it is a combined class, we have a little different way of assessing the grades in here. So your student will still receive a separate grade for history and English. Assignments and assessments are classified as either history, English, or links. Links is a project or an assessment that combines the two disciplines. Links grades count for 50% of the grade for each discipline. So that means your child's history grade will be 50% of what they earned in their history class and 50% of what they earned on links projects. Their English grade will be the same thing. So can a links grade help a student's overall grade? Absolutely. And we have one links project every unit. So there'll be history assignments, English assignments, and then a links project every unit. For example, the first links project that they're working on is this immigrant group research project. They're researching in class. We've given them time to do so. They've been assigned a particular immigrant group. They have certain questions to answer about that group, and they will present their findings with a Google Slides presentation next Wednesday or Thursday in class, depending on the day that they meet. To access Canvas, I'm sure as the parents of juniors, you are familiar with this as well, but there is a parent portal. So just to make sure that you are accessing it that way. If you want to contact me, I teach from my classroom every day. So I am available via email, really any time of the day. Please don't ever hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns. And I do consider it an honor to teach your children. A few logistics. For example, the US history book for our level is this book, The American Anthem. Your child was given this at registration. You should see it at home. We don't use it very often. I probably use it maybe once or twice a unit. It's more of a resource tool than anything else. I did have them complete a textbook reading at the beginning of this unit. So you should see that. Don't be nervous. If you don't see them reading from it every night, it's not as though we go through page by page, but it is a good resource tool and we refer to it whenever we can. One last thing I'd like to share with you is what a Canvas page looks like. So this is what my Canvas page looks like for American Studies. At the very top are the resources for that unit. So for here I have a Google Slides presentation, textbook reading, answer key, the project itself, and their assigned immigrant group. It's just easy access for them. I'll have a resources module like this for every unit. Here is what the day-by-day information looks like. On those days that we have a combined class to work on a project or some links assignment, we call that an open day. So there is a Zoom link they will click on for that. If it's a closed day, that means that they will have separate classes for history and for English. So for example, Tuesday and Wednesday are closed. Monday was an open day. And that's about all I have for you tonight. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, never hesitate to email me. This is an unusual year, to say the least, and we are all working our way through this. I told your children and myself that I think the two words we need to focus on for this year are patience and kindness, because we're all working through this together and all trying our best to make this the best educational experience for your children in these very unusual times. So thank you again. Have a pleasant evening.